Thank you, Manish. Again, you have given me responsibility, and I wish for Dr. Dilpreet's father's health, and wish that he'll be okay soon. And definitely, you'll miss Dr. Dilpreet here. And I have not prepared any presentation yet, but I have two or three slides, so that at least we can discuss, because we all have experience of trauma, especially the vitreoretinal surgeon, Dr. Manish. Saxena Manish has shown beautiful videos. So basically, you said your statement was absolutely right that without vitreoretinal support, we cannot actually excel. So to do even a good phaco surgery, we need to have a support of a vitreoretinal surgeon. If the person is sitting uh, very close to you, you can do anything. But if the vitreoretinal support is not there, then definitely uh, you'll you can't do so many things with the even phaco surgeries, because you'll always scared that what to do when the minor complication would be a great complication. So thank you, Manish, for your very nice video. So I have a few. Mm, I just picked up a few of slides, very dirty. Um, this optical biometry report. Here in this case, you can see that 2K readings were 43.5 and 45.7. The astigmatism was 2.71 diopters. So if you trust only on biometers, and if you're not, as I said in my presentation, that importance of whenever you are going for even any kind of a premium IVLs, and especially the multifocal or toric IVL, you must have the idea about the cornea as a whole. You can't see just can't trust only center part of the cornea, because in keratometry, whenever we are dealing, we are just dealing in the center 3 millimeter or maximum 2.8 millimeters of the cornea. So almost all keratometers. But beyond that, lot of things are hidden. So, like in this report, you can see that the key readings, the astigmatism was 2.71 diopters, but here on the pentagram now you can see the gain. A lot of irregularities in here, and in this area there is irregular oblique, although it is not very clear. And here you can see there is a shift of the pachy apex towards the inferior nasal area, which is quite uncommon, because whenever we talk about the keratoconus, most of the time we see the shift towards the inferior temporal area, but here it was towards the inferior nasal area. The innerst area is slightly towards the inferior medial area, and lot of irregularities. Suppose if you promise the patient and you go with the only with the keratometric readings, and you implant the toric IVLs, this patient will not be very happy, and you won't get the result. Although you may get some toricities, but sometimes you can create a double toricity in the eye, because you are trying to counter the first one, and you have implanted another toric implant inside the eye, and the both will clash, and a patient will feel hell of the problem. So my suggestion is only that toric is not a problem. You can any time you can start with the toric. It's very easy, because if you are doing excellent phaco, why not to just you're why to deal only with this only spherical component, because the biometry means what? Why we do biometry? We do biometry to achieve a hematropia. So why to forget the toricity? So, and we have options, good options, and not very expensive options. So if um, you're a phaco surgeon, every surgeon must try toric, and toric is not a hitch now. So but you must be aware about the even the paracentral part of the cornea, and the peripheral part of the cornea. Sometimes a disease might be hidden, and you may operate, and the disease might be progressive. Like if the patient has keratoconus, it may progress in further, and it will again add on the toricity of the cornea. So, or like PED, like if the patient with PED, it may again progress in future. So, if you know that cornea has something which is hidden, or it has something, some disease which may progress, always try to avoid toric IVLs. And in if you have an irregular cornea because of the suppose because of the injury. So again, you have to see that whether it is a regular one or it is irregular. So if you are getting biometry, if you are doing topography and you are getting a symmetrical bow tie pattern of on topography, you can definitely go with the toric implant. But if the toricity is irregular, if the bow tie patterns are irregular, if they are oblique, then don't ever try to implant toric implant IVLs, because this IVL will not work, and in fact it will create a lot of other problems also. It will add on the aberrations of um, uh, in the post-op period. Like in this case, again you can see that toricity is of around 4.3 diopters, but on the topography you can again see a lot of all the corneal indices are abnormal. Here there is a shift towards um, the steep cornea. So these patients are not good patients, and suppose if you think with the experience, you know that the patient toricity is, we can deal with the toric IVL. So always counsel the patient very in the pre-op period, as you have also mentioned and Manish have also emphasized about the counseling. Counseling is very, very important whenever you are dealing with any irregular cornea or any um, uh, irregular cornea and the cataract, because as I said in my presentation also, that none of the technology is 100% or to achieve a exact amount of the IL power calculation. So if we don't have the exact technology to get best IOL for the choice, then how can we promise? So, uh, in short, I can say that if patient has any irregular surface on the cornea, or if it is even a nebular kind of corneal opacity or any kind of minor, like SPK sort of things, and you do keratometry, you get some irregularity, and you always try to jump towards the toric IOL, but no, you must try to evaluate the total the cornea in a totality of for topographers, because almost now topographer is a one of the regular tool we can have. All have some sort of, and they are not very pretty expensive also. So always assess the ocular surface, always assess the anterior surface, try to get an idea about the back surface, try to achieve a good keratometry, because now because cornea has a regular surface, it has a scar. You cannot depend on the formulas where the presumptions are already there. So you have to be take proper measurements, then do the biometry, implant the IOL, because now we are experienced, we are doing a lot of good phaco surgery. So definitely surgical part is not a problem, we can manage. So like Manish said that the choices of IOL, if you are not able to implant it in the sulcus, then put it in the then opt for to go for the multi-piece IOLs. And if you are able to implant in the back, then go with the single piece IOL. If there is no support, then you can put on the entire in the iris, or you can even go for glued IOL or retro iris claw or iris claw. So a lot of options are there now, but still the biometry, again the question is, the biometry will not be 100%. So counseling is very important. Sit with the patient, explain the patient that the reality truth about the corneal status, truth about the IL power calculation. Patient understands. Most of the time, if you convey in a positive note, patient understand this. So convey it in a positive note and then operate. Definitely, you'll be the winner. So with this, I think I'm sorry because I have not prepared the presentation, but whatever was in my heart, just uh, spoken. So over to you, Manish.